Okay, everybody, so in this video we're going to be talking about importing your photographs into Lightroom Classic. And so you might be thinking, okay, I've made my pictures, I have them on my camera, stored on my SD card, but how do I get them from my SD card into Lightroom? In this video we're going to be talking about how you go about doing that. So at this point you should have your new catalog for Lightroom set up and open on your desktop. And when you open it, it's probably going to look something like this. You're going to have nothing here. It's going to say click to import, click import to button to begin, but you'll have no photographs in here. Okay, and so the first thing you're going to want to do is obviously bring some photos in to start your workflow. And you will be starting here in the library tab, and in this tab you'll have the import button right here down at the bottom left. You can also go to file and import photos and videos. But before we do that, I just want to show you very quickly my method of file storage. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can plug your SD card directly into your computer and take your images from your SD card into your Lightroom. You can also do it another way. So what I like to do actually, because I'm all about kind of storage management and I don't want to clutter my computer, what I like to do is I'll take my images from the SD card into a folder on my external hard drive, and then I'll take my images from my folder from my hard drive into Lightroom. Okay, so I just wanted to show you really quickly here. This is my Finder menu. It may be different if you're using PC, but I'm working on Mac. Okay, so you'll see here that I actually have my hard drive plugged in. I have the folder that we had created last time, this 107D Fall 2022. I have sample images here, and then from there I have my images ready to be imported. Okay, so I'm going to go back here into Lightroom, and I'm going to go ahead in the library tab. I'm going to click on import. Okay, and what's going to happen is it's going to take you to this import window. So you notice that there's two different sides here. There's this left-hand side. This is going to be all the information that's currently on your computer. Okay, so for me, I have this my Mac here. I have my hard drive. Okay, so my hard drive is plugged in. This is all my files on my hard drive. This here, this untitled, this is going to be my SD card from my camera. So if you haven't done so already, you should have both your SD card with your files and your hard drive plugged in if you're storing your images and working off of your hard drive, which I highly recommend you doing, because again, we're trying to manage clutter on our computers, on our desktop. Okay, so if you are going to if you don't want to go ahead and create a file, what you can do is take your images directly from your SD card, not drag them, but you can then select them and then click import down here at the bottom. What I'm going to do, like I told you before, is I'm going to go ahead and find my files here, sample images, and I have my files ready to go to import. Okay, but before you do that, I want to call your attention to this area up here. Okay, so right at the top of this import window tab, you're going to have these other options. Okay, what you have here is you have copy as DNG, you have copy, you have move, and you have add. Okay, so starting with copy as DNG, so what happens here is DNG stands for digital negative. Okay, and so this is like a universal file that is used for photographic editing. Okay, so if you're shooting with RAW files, which you should be using RAW files for image capture, and refer back to the video on RAW files if you don't remember this, but what's going to happen is every single camera model, so let's say Fuji, Canon, Nikon, they're all going to have different RAW file formats. Okay, they're all raw files, but they use slightly different formats just because of the camera manufacturer. What copy as DNG does, or what a DNG is it converts that raw file specific information from your camera and it makes it into a universal file so that you can use it within Lightroom or other Adobe programs. Okay, so if you're taking your files directly from your SD card into Lightroom, you can definitely do copy as DNG, and this will be a good method of working for you. Okay, copy is similar, except it doesn't convert it to DNG. All it does is it takes that raw file and it makes a copy of it and it puts it into Lightroom so you can work from there. And then add here is what I usually use. So what add does is that it doesn't actually take the file and put it into Lightroom. What it does is it adds access to the file. So it adds access to this raw file here. It adds access in Lightroom, but all the information is still saved on my original file in my folder. And I prefer it this way because, again, we're talking about image management and also space management. Okay, and so what happens here is whenever my hard drive is plugged in, I can access this file and all the edits I make to it. Okay, but it's not storing the actual image in here. So therefore, it's not adding a whole bunch of space onto my hard drive where Lightroom is. Okay. The only thing is that when you do the add option is that you have to make sure that wherever your original file is stored, so if that's in your SD card or if it's on your hard drive, which I highly recommend you do, that has to be plugged in order for you to access that file. It seems like a lot, but if you're storing your Lightroom catalog on your hard drive anyway, it's not going to really be an extra step, because in order to access your catalog, you'll have to have your hard drive plugged in already anyway. Okay, so again, this is the way that I do it. I find that it manages space really well, and so this is the recommended way that I want you to do it. Okay, so I have my files here. I have my sample images here. And what you can do at this point is you can just hit import down here at the bottom. Okay, and now you'll see that my images are coming into my library. You can see them here. You can also see them down here at this tab. Okay, and now we see we have images in our folders here. So all photographs, I now have 3 images. This was the name of the folder here, sample images, and it's under my hard drive. Okay, and now if I were to go down here, I can see the images that I brought in here, 1, 2, and 3 images. Okay, and that's the basics of exporting. And with that, I will see you in the next video.